The Power of Habit is an insightful book that dives into the neurology and mechanics of habit formation. Written by Charles Duhigg. Charles Duhigg is a Pulitzer Prize-winning American journalist and best-selling author of nonfiction works such as The Power of Habit and Smarter, Faster, Better. In 2013, he won the Pulitzer Prize as part of the team that wrote The Economy, a series of 10 articles about Apple's business practices. Duhigg has been a reporter for the New York Times for many years. Charles Duhigg's The Power of Habit outlines a 3-step loop of cue, routine, and reward that all habits follow. It also provides a 4-step framework for replacing bad habits, known as the Golden Rule of Habit Change: adjust the routine, but keep the cue and the reward. This book is best suited for people who want to understand and overcome their habits. Through this book, readers will learn how habits work, what the Golden Rule of Habit Change is, and how to change any habit with just 4 steps. How habits work. A 2006 Duke University study found that over 40% of our daily actions are not conscious decisions but habits. The reason is simple. Our brain seeks to conserve energy and will recognize a beneficial sequence of actions and convert it into an automatic habit stored in the basal ganglia, a primitive part of the brain. Habits typically follow a set pattern that can be broken down into 3 parts. An external cue is the trigger that tells your brain to engage in the habit. For example, a sweet smell may lead to craving a sugary snack. The routine is the habit itself, whether it be detrimental such as nail biting or beneficial, like taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Finally, there is a reward that reinforces the habit in the future. This could be a piece of chocolate or a relaxing activity. The brain's craving. How habits are powered over time. When the cue and reward become automated, an intense anticipation and desire is triggered inside us. Listening to the sound of a passing ice cream truck can activate a neurological pattern linked with desire and frustration. If we don't get our desired ice cream, the craving can lead to frustration and sadness. This habit loop of cue, routine, reward creates a powerful craving that gives habits strength. When powerful habits are formed, the desire to continue them can become an all-consuming craving, making it difficult to put the brakes on even with the strongest of disincentives, such as the loss of reputation, job, home, or family. This is why some individuals find themselves unable to resist the urge to cheat on a partner or gamble away their family's savings. Ignoring the craving causes an escalation of anger and frustration, taking over the body. The Golden Rule of Habit Change. The basal ganglia is unable to differentiate between good and bad habits, and the habit loop is too strong to be broken. Cravings are more powerful than willpower, so trying to break a bad habit is like attempting to separate powerful magnets. A lot of energy and effort is needed to keep the cue and reward apart, and it is both physically and mentally draining. Eventually, you will become too tired to resist and revert back to your old habit. Thankfully, there is a way to turn our bad habits into good ones, the Golden Rule of Habit Change. This involves keeping the same cue and providing the same reward, but inserting a new routine in between. This technique has proven to be effective in treating alcoholism, obesity, obsessive-compulsive disorders, and many more. By following this rule, anyone can work towards changing their habits. 4-step framework for habit change. Creating a new habit requires time and effort, but it is possible to reformulate almost any habit with the right approach. The following 4-step framework is a useful guide to help you get started. 1. Identifying the routine is the first step in changing habits. Duhigg wanted to break the habit of buying a chocolate chip cookie from the cafeteria every afternoon, which caused him to gain weight. For you, it could be something like smoking, procrastinating, or watching too much Netflix. 2. Identify the routine that needs changing, then experiment with rewards to discover the craving that glues the cue and reward together. Uncovering the true nature of the craving can be difficult, but it is important to test different hypotheses. Whether it is trying an apple instead of a chocolate chip cookie or simply going to the cafeteria to chat with friends. Substituting the reward can help reveal the craving. 3. Isolate the cue. Duhigg identified his cue for the chocolate chip cookie habit by isolating it from the routine and reward. He noted that the 5 categories to consider when searching for a cue were: location, time, emotional state, other people, and the action immediately preceding the routine. After tracking these for several days, he noticed that the urge for a cookie usually came at 3:30 p.m. Further exploration showed that this was not a result of hunger or the need for energy, but rather a desire for a distraction from work, socializing with a friend. 4. Have a plan. At 3:30 each day, the author planned to walk to a friend's desk and talk for 10 minutes instead of indulging in a cookie in the afternoon habit. This change in routine created a new cue, the time and reward, temporary distraction, while also setting a reminder to help the plan take effect. Despite not seeing immediate results, this change eventually worked, as the basal ganglia is too primitive to distinguish between routines and only primes you to do something to get the reward. By maintaining the stimulus and the reward, and altering the routine between them, you and your primal self can both be successful. Belief is essential in order to break bad habits and replace them with positive ones. Habit replacement is a powerful tool that can help us make these changes in our lives, but only if we believe in our ability to succeed. When life throws us unexpected challenges, such as the betrayal of a partner or a serious illness in the family, we need to have the strength of our beliefs to carry us through. Faith in ourselves and in our goals is the only way to keep our momentum going and to reach our goals. People struggling with alcohol addiction understand the importance of relying on something bigger than themselves. Alcoholics Anonymous emphasizes this belief, as research shows that it is not necessarily in the notion of God, but rather the sense of not having to go through this difficult process alone that is most effective. To truly rewire a habit, a person must have the conviction that something outside of themselves has the power to help them stay the course. This could be a friend, or it could be a higher power, such as God. According to Charles Duhigg, the odds of success in changing a habit are greatly increased when done as part of a group. Regardless of the size of the group, having a sense of community and belief is necessary for permanent behavior change. Final notes. The Power of Habit, as called one of the best and most influential studies of the 21st century by the New York Times Book Review, gives an in-depth exploration into the science of habit formation and change. Andrew Hill of the Financial Times Review wrote that it has become an essential manual for business and living. With enough time and effort, it is possible to change an existing habit. To do so, replace the routine while keeping the same cue and reward. If needed, do not hesitate to seek help from a friend.